Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Of course, Christine Austin Ill coming to you guys, and this is going to be the third of the 4 videos dealing with objections and the rebuttals. All right, so in the last video, we went over several of the different objections, and one is I want to think about it. We talked about I thought you were going to mail me something. Can't you just drop me something in the mail? I have life insurance. I have too much life insurance now. I'm insurance poor. I'm really not interested, right? So right now, we're going to start back with I'm really not interested. We're going to go into I don't like people just showing up at my house unexpectedly. I'm shopping around, and a few others. Again, it's depending on the time. We may be able to close it out on this video. If not, then we were going to have one more. And of course, make sure you put a thumbs up if you like this video, the information within this video, as well as subscribe so that you know anytime I am adding any new videos, okay? If you notice, this time I do have one of my vision boards in the background. The reason for that is I am going to be uploading a video for you guys about vision boards, the importance of having one, and really what you should put in your vision board. So these are different things that you want to focus on, things that you want to bring into your reality. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So again, we're starting back with I'm really not interested. So when you're out, and of course I'm dealing with leads, or if you're sitting with the if you're already done the presentation and they've told you that they're really not interested. A lot of times newer agents are going to get I'm not interested at the door. So what we have here is this is a response at the door. Okay, well, you know, I'm here because you requested the information from my company about our final expense programs. Now, there's no obligation and it only takes about 10 minutes. And I will leave you with some information before I leave. Okay. So again, it's always going to be about your tone, how you look at the door. If when somebody says to you, I'm not interested, and you go, what do you mean you're not interested? Well, why did you fill this out? Clearly, now you're being defensive. You're going to make them become defensive, and it's going to be a problem. They're definitely not going to want to hear anything that you have to say. So you always want to be humble. You want to be humble, and you kind of want to just bring their attention back to the lead. Now, what I do is I always carry the lead letter that my company sent to those individuals and try to jog their memory. Like, okay, well, you know, let me make sure I'm hearing you correctly. Is it that you're not interested in the final expense cash benefit that pays out in 24 hours to your loved ones? Or are you not interested in just going over this information right now? Ask the questions. A lot of times I've heard people say, you know what, right now it's just a horrible time. And they rattle off whatever it is that's going on. And I say, you know what, I completely understand. And then I always have my schedule right underneath my lead piece on my clipboard. And I'll go ahead and say, okay, these are the next 2 days I'm going to be in the area and the times that I have available. Which one is going to be the better time for you? And then, of course, they set a time. Then I'm going to ask. Now, let me just ask and be sure. Now, when you fill this out, is it just for yourself or are you married? I want to make sure that if there is a spouse that needs to be there, they are there so that I'm not coming back and doing a one-legger. We call that a one-legger for husband and wife. All right? So make sure you're asking the questions. Practice this over and over and over again because you don't want to be rattled at the door. You need to have that confidence. So practice. All right? If you are at the table and you've gone through your presentation, now guys, honestly, if you have gotten in and you sat down with that individual and at the end they say, I'm really not interested, you missed something throughout the presentation. That's why it's very important to pay attention to the body language when you are having a conversation and you're going over your script with that person, all right? But in the event that you do get, I'm really not interested at the end of your presentation, you do want to just stop and say, okay, I understand you're saying you're not interested. So let's just think about this for a minute. What were you thinking when you filled out the form or when you called into the commercial? You know, you want to ask them to help you be able to help them help their family. Okay, so you may have to ask some more questions and pull out the need. So that way you can go back and fill it. All right. All right, so I'm not interested. Moving on. I don't like people just showing up at my house unexpectedly. Thank God I have not heard that too often in the past 5.5 years. I'm in my 6th year right now of business because I've knocked a lot of doors. However, here is the response that we have come up with. Neither do I, and you want to smile at them. And honestly, I really don't like people just showing up at my door. Go figure. And this is my business, but I do not like it. I will go to the side in one of the bedrooms and look out the window to see who's at my door. I'll be in the kitchen window. I want to see who's there before I come to my door. I really just don't like it. However, this is part of the business. So that's why when I can easily say neither do I and laugh because I really don't. So you want to agree with them and then state, unfortunately, because we do not provide or, let me back up. If on the lead, they did not have a phone number, this is perfect. All right. So listen, unfortunately, you did not put your phone number on this card. So I was not able to call you or warn you before I came into the area, but I'm glad you're home. This really does only take between 10 to 15 minutes, and I will be in and out of here before you know it. Where can we sit? Right? Just go right back into it. Another one is, I do apologize if this is a bad time for you. I'm traveling from Pittsburgh or whatever area you're from, and it's hard to be able to set appointments and stick to those times because of the fact that I'm traveling, and I just don't know what I'm going to come up against, any accidents or things of that nature. So please just allow me the 10 to 15 minutes to go over this with you, and I promise I'll be out of your hair before you know it. Where can we sit? Right? Go right back to where can we sit? I don't really like to ask, can I come in or may I come in? It's kind of like a yes and a no. I mean, even though they can still say, no, you can't sit anywhere right now. But most of the time they say, well, I mean, I guess, at the table or whatever. So I like to say, where can we sit? And I'm kind of leaning in, like I'm ready to open the door and come in. All right. We have a third response to that. Back to neither do I. But I'm so glad that you're home, right? My office is all the way in the Pittsburgh area, and I have been on the road all day taking care of seniors. It only takes about 10 to 15 minutes for me to go over this plan you requested to see if we can get you qualified. Where can we sit? All right, guys? Keep it simple. You don't want to be at the door trying to go over the presentation, trying to go over the program. Your objection is getting in the door. All right? All right. I'm shopping around. Definitely, some people will say this at the door. Well, can't you just give me the price? Because I'm really just shopping around right now. No, that's the reason why I'm here. I want to make sure that I'm able to give you the best price possible. And in order for me to do that, I need to ask you a few questions. So I promise it'll be real quick. Where can we sit? Back to where can we sit? Another one, glad. Great. I'm glad you're home. Of course, smiling. I did the same thing when I received my license from the state of Pennsylvania. I made sure that I chose the #1 final expense company in the nation to work just for you. I only want to represent the best. Tell me, what other companies have you looked into or would you like to know about? I can help save you some time. Now, let me go back because I did stumble a little bit, so I want to read this so that you can hear it. Great. I'm glad I am here. Smiling. I did the same thing when I received my license from the state of Pennsylvania. I made sure that I chose the #1 final expense company in the nation to work for, and I only want to represent the best. So tell me, what other companies have you looked into or would you like to know about? I can save you some time. We are #1 for a reason. We are in the business of paying claims within 24 hours. What else are you looking for? All right. That's really good. Okay. I'll be busy for the next couple of months. Check back in 3 months. Now, I have never heard that. Clearly, this is something that agents across the world hear. All right. I've heard this on one of the other videos throughout YouTube where, somebody had posted, oh, it's okay if they wanted to, want you to come back in 3 months, set the appointment for 3 months out. And then, in 3 months, you have an appointment. I disagree. I just disagree. when you're calling setting appointments, if you set the appointment outside of a 48-hour window, a lot of times they forget. So 3 months, I'm thinking within 3 months, an agent like me is going to come knock on that door and I'm going to sell them. 3 months, a lot can happen in a week. 3 months, you know, I don't advise it. That's all I'm going to tell you. I don't advise that. So I completely understand, right? I am also very busy. And I do say that I'm very busy. I do work for different states at times. I have a family. There's no way that I can really set something that far out and even think that that's going to work. Okay. So, however, this information is very important and it is time sensitive. We don't know if I'm going to be dead in 3 months or you. I mean, honestly, don't say that though. But this is time sensitive. It will only take 10 to 15 minutes out of your time. And I promise I will stick to the information. We can all find about 10 to 15 minutes to find peace of mind for our loved ones. That is what this is all about. Help me to be able to help your family. Promise, 10 to 15 minutes. That's what you want to do. If they don't give you that time right then, again, I'm going to be in this area for the next 2 days or whatever your schedule is. When can we squeeze in some time? I start at 8 a.m. and I'm out until 9 p.m. I'm sure we can find 10 to 15 minutes within that time period. And just, you know, get them on the books within the 24, 48 hours. 3 months is crazy. You're not that serious. Not you as the agent, but the person that filled out the form. Okay? All right. My funeral is paid for. Great. I am so proud of you for thinking about your family enough that you would pre-plan your funeral. That is awesome. And that really is awesome, guys. At this point, you want to remind them that their final expenses include much more than just the cost of the funeral or the cremation. Okay? We don't know how we are going to go. And if there's any additional medical bills, any household bills that are going to be left over, if they're in an apartment building, listen, their loved ones are not going to want to rush to that apartment to clean out their items, but you definitely want to have some hand money to help them pay for that rent so that they can come in and have the time to go through your items and you know, get rid of the things that they don't want anymore. Because if there's no money to pay that rent, trust me, that landlord is clearing out all those private items and they are going either in the trash or they're going to somebody else. And we really don't want that. That's a final expense. All right. And it's cash. You know, you don't know any of those cash items for the funeral that usually are not included in a pre-planned arrangement. Flowers, the death certificates, the obituary, the newspaper obituary, your clothes, the memorial, food. I mean, there's so many other things that the family members are going to need cash for that final expense can provide. All right. So you definitely want to talk about the other things that go in to their final expenses. This is cash that's going to be paid out in 24 hours of us getting that proof of death. All right. So it's not just for your funeral and cremation. So they still need us. All right. Moving on. Let me check my time here. Actually, we're going to stop right here. So the next video, we can do this one and then we'll jump over to the last video. This one's, I don't remember sending in any card. All right. You normally are going to get that whenever you're making the phone calls and trying to set appointments over the phone. These seniors fill out stuff every single day. All right. Their spouses fill them out for the other spouse and the name that the card was in. They don't even know anything about it. I've heard it all the time. So it's okay. If they don't remember, you know what? No worries. You have a blessed day. We'll check on you soon. I mean, just door knock them. Because when you door knock them, you can show them the lead and you can show them the letter. And that, again, normally jogs their memory. So, again, that's okay. Most people don't remember. Quite honestly, it can be hard to remember with all the piles of mail people get these days. You put down, and this is over the phone, you put down that you were such and such years young. Is that accurate? And you live at such and such, right? So now you're confirming information that they had put down on that card. Well, listen, the easy part about this program, it only takes about 10 to 15 minutes to go over the amazing benefits available to you as a senior. and there's no obligation at all. When would be the best time to sit down with you and your loved one? Morning, afternoon, or evening? And then tie down the appointment. All right? So you just want to go back to that. You don't want to make a big deal about them not remembering or trying to go and read the whole letter, because again, people are very visual. So keep it short and simple. All right, guys, that's our time. I will be right back with you with the last part of overcoming objections. I'll be back.